I was out at every single one. And the key is you don't get hit by cops. You don't stand right in front of them and yell. I stand like from here to there and I yell. I say, this is my country. At least I said what I had to say. You know, and then I go home feeling like I did something, but nothing happened.
They should be listening to us, not us listening to them. It's usually fear. I mean, they're usually fear.
Look to the shores of Lebanon, where the USS Cold sits today. What is it there to do? Is it there to export democracy? Is it there to free and liberate the people of the region? Or are they really continuing the ongoing American campaign to divide people and lands, to divide and conquer, to advance the American imperialist strategy in the region?
We have here, we're going to have former Congresswoman Cynthia McKinney is here. She's going to help us lead the march. Vietnam War veteran and author of Born on the 4th of July, Ron Kovic is here, and he's going to help us lead the march. And Ron Kovic hasn't stopped marching since Vietnam, and he's not going to stop marching until this war is over. So let's do this in the spirit of unity. So we're going to start moving the truck. So let's keep it together, everybody. We're going to have a big rally at CNN. So let's say stop the war. Stop the war! Stop the war! Stop the war! Stop the war! I say 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 stop the war! Stop the war!
Stop the war!
There is no constitution anymore. Where? For what? Protesting, letter writing, voting, none of it works. All you can do is local communities.
Annihilate populations, it's just the wrong way of attacking terrorism.
The Iraqis were paying 5 cents a gallon for gas. Now they're paying a lot more. And they have to import their own gas into their own country. The poor Iraqis.
Terrorism can happen in any land, even in American soil. And in America, it happens with other people. So pointing the finger just to Middle Easterners doesn't make sense. So we're all in this anti-terror effort as well. Nobody likes terror.
Smoke joints, not people! That's smoke joints, not people!
For consolidation of the media. Now that's why Rupert Murdoch, all of them are in bed together. That's why we had the blackout of the news from the Clinton ears, and the people are dumbing down in the U.S. and they don't know what's going on. This gentleman here, he doesn't do a computer, he just found this out, so he's going through shock right now. And some people will say, okay, we all know this, but I want him to, he has to go through that grieving period, that realization. There's the neocons, the radical right, they don't want that part of the Republicans, and I don't want to be with the blue dogs supporting Israel blindly. We're for peace and we're for we the people. So it's skewed. We need a third party. How can this happen? People say it can't happen because the people are not represented. We're inconsequential.
the powers that be are taking over control of everything, we don't live in a democracy anymore. It's a plutocracy. Basically, it's government ruled by the rich.
It's so scary and diabolical. The truth is so horrible. You don't even want to know it.
People here are very, very widely, like, you got 9/11 people here, you got people that are against, like, the spending, people that are talking about the dollar falling. It's just like the Vietnam stuff, like, they're talking serious, like, anti-government stuff out here. Like, everyone's talking about it, it's not just us.
And if it weren't for those soldiers fighting in another country, you and I wouldn't be talking here today.
Iraq is no threat to us, sir.
Oh, says you. Says you. So if we pull out, they're all going to live happily ever after.
What would they attack us with, sir?
In the war! Now! In the war! Now! In the war! Now! In the war! Now! In this war now! 5 years we have been lied to. 5 years we have been misled. 5 years we have been here. 5 years we have stood for truth and justice. 5 years, but not next year. Not next year. Say that. Not next year. Say it. Not next year. In this war now. In this war now. That is a simple message that some people haven't got yet.
George Bush and Dick Cheney and Donald Rumsfeld and Paul Wolfowitz and Douglas Feith and all of the thieves and liars that they consort with should be stripped naked and walk through the streets of every town. Of every town and hamlet in this country who has sent a young man or woman to serve in this war and face the scorn and the repudiation of every citizen of that town. And when we finish walking them through every town naked in this country, they ought to be forced to walk through Afghanistan and Iraq and do the same thing. I don't recognize a country that tortures. I don't recognize a country that builds walls. I don't recognize a country that deems itself superior to the cultures and the wishes and the wills of every other human being in the world. That's not the country I know and I love, and I want my country back.
And who knows what's going to happen after this, you know? And I just hope something positive comes out of it, that we can learn from it.
Any casualties are bad, but the reality is, young man, total doesn't even account for 1 day in World War II. We've actually overcame that enemy. We beat that military in under 3 days. So right now what we're doing is we're playing against guys who shoot our military and then run into a holy place where we can't bomb them. We're playing by the rules, they're not. So that's what's prolonging this.
So all you can do is stuff on local level, on your local city council. That's all you can do. But here in LA, you got 5 kings and queens that run these 5 districts, and it's another horrible mess. When I used to live in Santa Cruz, I knew a sheriff who wanted to run for city council. Oh my God, I had to go through these, I had to sign off on these underhanded dealings on a tiny little local level. Imagine what you have to do by the time you get up there to the presidency. Just forget it. You're in the pot. $100 million to become president? What does that? You're not. It's history. Presidency is history.
Fuck Bush and Cheney.
Power to the people. That's like saying let's pull LAPD out of the streets and we'll all get along.
What are you going to attack us with?
Let's pull off LAPD. It'd be guys like you that would pee your pants and want them to come over. Come on, my friend. Get into a little bit more thinking.
Let me know when you spot the first Iraqi aircraft carrier, pal.